When people hear the word slavery, they often imagine chains, whips, and force. But some of the earliest slaves in history were not captured by armies. They were created by loans. Long before banks, long before paper money, ancient societies invented lending. And at first, it seemed reasonable. A bad harvest, a sick child, a flood, a drought. People needed help, so they borrowed. Grain to survive the winter, silver to plant the next crop, food to keep their families alive. But ancient loans came with a price: interest. In early civilizations like Sumer and Babylon, loans were written on clay tablets, witnessed, sealed, recorded. If you borrowed grain, you owed more grain later. If you borrowed silver, you repaid silver, plus interest. At first, this worked, until it didn't, because interest never sleeps. A farmer misses one harvest, then another. The debt grows. Soon, the farmer cannot repay. So the lender offers another solution. "Work for me," he says, "until the debt is cleared." The farmer agrees, not because he wants to, but because the alternative is starvation. This is how debt bondage begins. No chains, no auction, just a contract. The farmer works the lender's land. His children help. His wife helps. But the debt does not shrink. Interest continues. Fees appear. Records change. The labor pays the interest, not the principal. And slowly, the borrower realizes something terrifying. The debt is not meant to be repaid. It is meant to trap. By the time ancient societies noticed, entire families were caught, not as slaves of war, but as slaves of math. Debt bondage spread quietly. You could walk through an ancient city and never see chains. But behind doors, people were working debts they would never escape. Children inherited obligations. Wives became collateral. Land disappeared. In some cases, borrowers were sold, not because they committed crimes, but because they owed money. Kings began to panic because debt bondage did something dangerous. It removed farmers from fields. It removed soldiers from armies. It turned free citizens into private property. An economy built on debt slavery eats itself. Ancient rulers understood this long before modern economists did, so they intervened. In Mesopotamia, kings declared debt forgiveness. They erased tablets. They freed debt slaves. These decrees were called clean slates, not acts of mercy, but acts of survival. Because if too many people are trapped by debt, the state collapses. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Debt bondage never disappeared. It changed form. Contracts replaced chains. Paper replaced clay. Interest replaced force. The system became legal, invisible, normalized. And when people today say, "I owe more than I can ever repay," they are echoing a very ancient fear. This story is not just about the past. It is about what happens when lending forgets humanity, when numbers matter more than people. The ancient loan system did not fail because lending was evil. It failed because unchecked debt turned survival into servitude. This is the dark history of debt bondage, and it is older than money itself. This is hidden money history.